probably is, but I just don't care.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I got like 17 anime I gotta watch next season.
Well, you don't have to watch that. You can just skip it.
To watch them.
And yet you still aren't going to watch Vending Machine.
I refuse to. Man has the dumbest death of isekai ever. Seriously. I need to sacrifice myself to protect that vending machine from getting hurt. It's a vending machine. I'm pretty damn sure it's stronger than you are, pal. And I'm right because you're dead.
Yeah, and if it breaks, you can just repair it. And it'll be good as new. Or just get a new one.
And there's our cold open talking about Vending Machine. And it doesn't look like my camera's wanting to work either, so... Hello and welcome to first act of Wano, One Piece. Mike?
Ninja and samurai.
Need.
And some sumo wrestlers. And maybe we'll eat some rice. Never know. It could happen.
Oh, we're started.
Oh, right. Well, it's the beginning of Wano, and first going to start talking about Mr. Marco. We are introduced in the first episode 890, that the Minks are waiting to meet this Marco guy, and he's at some village which is a last memento of Whitebeard, and we're getting a reminder of oh yeah, Whitebeard, he was a thing 2 years ago. Cool. And basically the Minks are trying to recruit Marco. Not Wano. Huge difference. And first off, Sunny is heading towards the island. They run into bad weather, and of course, is an expert on this, and she has no idea what she's doing. And they're surrounded by a school monster carp, and Luffy takes the reins and, attaches his arms to the carp to help them get up a waterfall, because that's normal. And then the ship crashes, and he's marooned on a beach. He runs into the first person that we meet in the land of Wano. Her name is Otama. She's this little girl, and Luffy saves her. And what's unique about her is that Otama tames this baboon that's chasing a dog, a lion dog, and she pulls something out of her cheek, and then Luffy's like, "Oh, you're a party user. Okay, cool." Also, before that happens, we have to go over the fact that the others who are in Wano already, we got Zoro, who's a Ronin, Frankie's a carpenter, Usopp is a toad oil salesman, and Robin is a geisha. And one of the greatest things that happens is there's a murderer on the loose, and Luffy Usopp is absolutely terrified, and he says to one of the guards, he's like, I got 10 kids, and the oldest is still 7. One green light. Anyways, Tom takes it back, and we learned that the lion dog's name is Machio, and there's a baboon that they befriend. His name is Hihimaru, and as a thanks for saving her life, Tama beats Luffy, and we find out that she's waiting for Ace to return, and of course Luffy is like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this kid, but Ace is dead, and she starts crying because she's like 8 years old, and they run into a swordsmith by the name of Tengayama Itetsu, and he gives Luffy borrows a sword from him, and he criticizes Luffy for taking all of Otama's food away, and Luffy doesn't understand that they don't have very much food. But we get a story of Ace in the land of Wano and how he landed on the shores, and how the village would eat food, and Ace helped the village. Or the village ate his food because his ship crashed in Wano, and he wasn't bitter about it. He was just like, oh, okay, cool, I'll let these guys. And let's see. Oh, right. We learned that 1 year ago, the village was attacked by what we see as Drake as one of the worst generation pirates. And we also learned that the flower capital is the only place in the land of Wano that thrives. Every other place is either poor, wasteland, or it's poisoned with the factories and stuff. And Otama drinks some of the local poisoned water to satisfy her hunger. She gets sick, and Luffy's goal to help her, and he has to take her into town to see a doctor. And he takes the Kitetsu blade, a Kitetsu 3 blade, and the old swordsmith is explaining all the different swords, and by the time they come back to Luffy, he's already gone because this is boring to him, and which is pretty funny. And Luffy runs into Zoro, and then Zoro is after, or Basil Hawkins is after Zoro, so we get a fight with him, which is cool. And Zoro actually rescues a woman. Her name is Otsuru. She's a tea house owner, and as a thanks for rescuing her from this attack and from Basil Hawkins, she's like, hey, I'm going to help this little girl of yours, and we're going to go to my tea house here. So they do that, and the little girl drinks this like evil purging herb tea, and now she's scared, and this woman is just like, here, have some food, and Otama is like, no, I couldn't possibly eat your food, and because she doesn't have any money and stuff like that, and but we're also introduced to the tea house waitress, Okiku, and she's being hit on by this sumo wrestler, and she's, as you know, Luffy and Zoro, and Otsuru come back. She's like, oh, thank you for driving away. He like wants to marry her and stuff. But Otsuru gets shot at because because she's talking about the what's his name, Orochi, the
I am Lord Orochi. I am the greatest character in all of the Wano.
That's right, he is. She's talking bad about. She's talking to like Zora and Luffy. She's like, "Oh, I know your secret, blah blah blah. All right, here's what's happening in the town or in this world." And she's talking bad about um, the Shogun, and so this Batman comes out, not literally Batman, but this Bat Dash Man comes out, and he starts shooting at
He's more of a man now, let's be fair.
And then now it's a race to rescue Otama, and they're all riding this lion dog thing, and they make it to this place called Makura Town, and some of these headliners are called headliners. These subordinates of Kaito, they see that Otama used a certain power to calm this baboon. They're like, we're going to use that power for our own gain. So that's why they kidnapped her. And so this guy named Oldham, he's with the Beast Pirates. He also has a stomach called Kamijiro, which is Holden's stomach, which is a lion. And they're having an argument, and this lion like hits Oldham in the balls, not realizing that he's part of Oldham's body too. So now they both feel pain. Blow to the balls, the shared grind. There we go. And with Luffy and Zoro and Okiku are chasing them, and they make it to the town, and the Okiku is like, "Hey, don't cause a ruckus. We don't want to cause too much attention." And he's like, "Okay." And then he uses hockey of the color of the Supreme King, and everybody just falls over because they can't stand up to it. And then we're finally learn the name of the sumo wrestler that was hitting on Okiku. His name was Urashima, and he sees Okiku and he's like, "Oh my God, my beautiful wife is coming towards us." Blah blah blah. And people are like, "Hey, she's a low commoner. You can't marry her. How dare you?" And then he gets really mad, and he says, "You guys are all like under me, so you guys are all worthless to me. Whether to spare you or take you is my choosing." So he basically can do whatever he wants. He's saying this to everyone. And then Okiku gets, captured, and then she gets summoned in front of Urashima, and she's just like, "All right, I'm not doing this anymore." And like 2 seconds before this, we learn that she's a samurai. So she cuts off his top knot. Um, and that was like a huge disrespect thing, because basically a top knot is like, what would it be like in real life today? It's like exposing someone's bank account number to the world, I guess. Really embarrassing. That was a horrible.
Or search history.
Yeah, it'd be more closer to your internet search history.
Oh yeah. Exposing your search history is like cutting off a top knot of anyone in Japan. And so everybody's like laughing at him, stuff like that. He wants to kill Okiku. So now we have an epic brawl between Luffy and Hiroshima. We learn that Luffy gets a new name, Luffy no Umi, a sumo wannabe pirate, and his record is he's undefeated versus Usopp. That's all we know. But they have this epic fight, and Luffy wins, and he throws Hiroshima into the tower where Tama's being held. she's being tortured basically, and ruins Hold'em's house. And now Hold'em's all mad. It's like, see that you're working with some random thief, and I guess the girl in the lion's stomach says, he's like, come closer, I'm gonna chop on her. And so they can't really do anything. And they're just like, this is horrible, oh my god. And then an unrelated thing, we see Paradise Farm, and it's the only farm in the entire country that's not polluted. And these workers are working, and they're like, here's your food for the day, or whatever. And these samurai are giving them, like, next to nothing, like, virtually no pay. And they're complaining, they're like, you're just lucky to be alive, kind of thing. We are introduced to another headliner. Her name is Speed, and she is half horse. And at the very end of what I watched was we learned that Jack is not dead. He survived. And he came to the land of Wano a couple days ago. So, that's where we left off. It was like on episode 9.
So, couple things.
905, I guess.
Speed is a centaur. She's not a half horse. She's a centaur. There is a difference.
Oh. Well, she took the horse smile.
Yeah, she just became a centaur. That's not neither here nor there.
I like about her is she's like, I can see 350 degrees except for her skull forces her to look straight. How can she look behind her? Like a horse can.
The second, Jack is technically a fishman, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
It is legitimately the only way he survived underwater.
I thought it was because he held his breath for so long. It was just like, hey, check me out. Look what I can do.
No, he's legitimately a fishman who ate a devil fruit.
Yeah, he's a giant grouper fish man. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
I feel Jack was made to kind of give some actual confirmation of what happens when a devil fruit user eats a devil fruit and is thrown underwater. Because you can't actually show a character drowning because it is graphic as hell. They have to work around that by using fishermen that eat devil fruit.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that worked. That's like interesting. I was like, you're a fish man. You eat a devil fruit.
He is the first fishman we see that has a devil fruit power. Or second? Who's the first?
Second. Von Decken from Fishman Island. The creep that was going after Shirahoshi.
Yep. For some reason, I never think of him as a fishman.
Nope, he's a fishman. He's just a creep.
Right. But he was like, he said he couldn't go in the water though. He needed to be in the boat. He's like, for obvious reasons, I can't swim. So he'd always be in a bubble.
And who else was in a bubble underwater? Well, besides the humans, but fighting underwater with a bubble, Luffy never left his bubble.
I know, but I'm saying, but the point is that he's a fisherman. Wouldn't he be able to, if Jack can breathe underwater?
Wouldn't be able to move.
Unless it was like the not the real kind of devil fruit. It was like the smile fruit.
No, Jack's got a real fruit. Or 92.
Well then. Oh, speaking of devil fruits, we learned what Basil Hawkins' devil fruit is. It's the straw fruit.
Hawkins is a straw fruit
with extra lives.
Hopkins is a cheap bastard. Holy hell. You guys are gonna be here a while.
Wano?
Yeah. Let's put it this way. Episode count wise, 191 episodes.
I told him to just power through it as much as he can.
It's not gonna be that bad. I mean, there's a couple episodes to skip, and I mean, there's some fun episodes in here. But I don't know where you're watching it, but you probably have gotten. Yeah, Crunchyroll does not do a good job of hiding spoilers with, because they keep using certain things.
You mean when they're like, next time?
No, the thumbnails.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Well, good thing I don't really look at those, so. Or at least I try not to.
Let's see.
But, what else can we talk about? Yeah, so we had the fight with Basil Haskins. I found a lot of that fight just, like, irrelevant. I was like, they spent so much time on him transforming his energy into that straw man. Like,
it's not.
It's like, this is dumb. Like, come on, just get to the fit already. I just don't like him. I don't like him as a character. I think he's kind of boring.
Hawkins is boring. He is arguably one of the worst of the supernovas of the worst generation because he is such a letdown. His powers are basically voodoo, where he's got all these straw dolls inside of him, or these basically voodoo dolls, and if he takes damage, he transfers it to the doll, which then transfers to one of his crewmates. And if something happens to what happens to that doll happens to said crewmate. Like if he gets decapitated, that doll gets decapitated, that crewmate gets decapitated. If he burns, that crewmate burns. It's such an interesting power, but he is so useless with it. He's a massive disappointment. But his power is
like,
so good for a villain.
Let me draw a card to see what I want. If he doesn't make his own decisions, he wants the cards doesn't do it for him.
No.
So he doesn't have a strategy.
And
like ever.
If I remember correctly, it was him, Apu, and Kid who were part of Alliance to take down Kaido before Luffy and Law formed an alliance.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Were they trying to fight Kaido?
I think they were aiming to take down one of the emperors. I think it was Kaido.
I thought it was Shanks. They ran into Kaido. Because Kaido, like, fell from the sky trying to kill himself.
It might have been...
And he's like, oh, hey, look, it's these three.
Oh wait, I can't say that. That's technically you haven't been reintroduced to Kid yet, have you?
No, we've just seen him. All we know right now is that he's imprisoned by Kaiden. That's it.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to remember what the meeting if Kid had something with him or not. Dev knows or Dev Dirk knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Did he have that or no?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna Google it.
Kid did challenge Shanks.
I know he challenged Shanks.
And he formed an alliance with On-Air Pirates and Hawkins to try to attack the red hair pirates.
Yes. Yes, he did. He did not. He had the metal arm. He was forming an alliance to go after Shanks because he fought him and he lost an arm doing so.
Yep.
I mean, I knew that. Totally.
And none of this is spoilers because it's already happened.
You probably have it in your notes somewhere.
I think they just showed his arm. I don't think I wrote that down because I was just like, oh, look, he's an arm now. I wonder what happened. And I probably just wasn't paying attention, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't put two and two together.
I'm trying to remember because, well, no, we've seen those. No, that's not happening at the moment. I'm gonna hold off on that talk for later. But what else was? Well, we can talk anime 2025 for a little bit before I know one of you guys has to go to work.
I do have a little bit, or I mentioned it to you, Malcat, but something I haven't mentioned to Ski Nerd. Anime wise, Detective Conan is getting a new dub next week.
I'm terrified. I don't know if I'm going to be okay with the new voice actors if they're.
The new dub is going to be on Crunchyroll with only selected episodes, not every single episode from what I've been able to find.
I mean,
and it's also coming to Netflix next week as well. Selected episodes as well. Because that's how I found out about it, was advertisement for it on Netflix when I was loading it up to watch Squid Games.
oh, that's interesting. According to Crunchyroll's website here, they're going to be releasing, looks like, a couple of the movies on YouTube.
Which I hope they're the ones that aren't on Prime Video. Because I want to watch them all.
He's up with Detective Conan Cinema Saturdays. Starting July 12th, a new Detective Conan movie will stream for free on the Anime on TMS official channel on YouTube, with more to follow over the course of 26 weeks.
So probably every single movie.
Yeah.
Because there's 28 movies.
But it will only be on there for 7 days.
So yeah,
Until the next week.
probably every movie besides the newest one.
Even then, probably that will.
I'm trying to see if I can find a list of the new dub cast, but I don't think they've released it yet.
Main project 3. No, let's see. Well, there's one way to find out.
Wait till next week.
I mean, yeah, I kind of have to do that for one series that I'm doing right now.
Exploring the case closed English dub on Crunchyroll.
You're exploring it on Crunchyroll. I'm going through my anime list.
I just googled it. I'm not looking at Crunchyroll specifically. I just mainly want to know who's gonna voice Conan and or Shinichi.
I see 2 different English voice actors. I think they changed the voice. I think they're gonna have to change some of the voice actors.
Is it the original dub voice list that you're looking at?
I'm on my anime list, so I'm just kind of looking at both. I'm trying to find if they're the original or if. Well, hold on. I might be jumping the gun because of internal monologue, external monologue.
Because yeah, it might be the original. I wouldn't recognize the names. I don't remember who voices who in the original. It's been 20 years since I watched the original dub.
So I'm freaking out over nothing. Okay, so Jerry Jewell is the older version of Conan, whereas Ashley Victorin is the child version, but it looks like she retired back in 2021. And having her come out of retirement might be difficult.
Not even slip chains on her.
But I think who they should have it be, who I think they might even, what's his name? Griffin Burns. That's who voiced Shinichi in the movies. Because I have his autograph twice for Case Closed. He voices Shinichi in the movies, at least. And I don't see any. Or they're just keeping it under wraps till next week, most likely.
Yeah, more likely than not.
But I think it'd be a good idea to bring him back. Because I've liked his. He does a good Shinichi in the movies.
Alright, well, guys, unfortunately, I've gotta run now, so I gotta head on out.
Okay.
Yep. Well, I will talk with you guys next time.
Yep.
We'll get out.
Okay, see ya.